When I first started my occupational therapy degree, one concept really stuck out to me. It's centered on the use of holistic thinking for personal wellness. Enter the 8 dimensions of wellness. Let's jump on into it. My name is Cam, hope you have a beautiful day and welcome back to OT&Me. So today I want to talk to you guys about the 8 dimensions of wellness and how you can use the 8 dimensions of wellness to achieve personal wellness in your own life. So the 8 dimensions of wellness was created by this one person called Margaret Peggy Swarbrick. It's this lady right here. In her adolescence, Dr. Swarbrick dealt with her own mental health issues, and through those trials and tribulations, she ended up developing a wellness vision that she saw for herself. It entailed the use of looking at herself through different lenses of life, different dimensions of wellness, as she put it. And she quotes this process as initially what had kept her moving in life, what kept her going. That is the basis of where the 8 dimensions of wellness was formed. However, what is the 8 dimensions of wellness? The 8 dimensions of wellness is a paradigm upon which to live life to the fullest. It separates life into 8 different components upon which we participate in each different sector. All areas are interconnected and no one aspect of the 8 dimensions of wellness is greater than the other. So what are those 8 dimensions? The 8 dimensions are as follows: emotional, spiritual, physical, occupational, financial, intellectual, social, and environmental. For this first video, I'm just going to jump into the first 4, and then we'll tackle the next 4 in the next video. Another 2-parter, y'all. Another 2-parter. Ow. So before we can jump into these 8 dimensions, we need to define what wellness actually is. And the World Health Organization actually has some definitions that I want to go over. First, I want to define what health is from the World Health Organization. This will help to kind of bring our brains into thinking of what I'm actually looking at here. How health is not just singularly based on the physical, but transcends that and is focused on the holistic aspect of the person. Bars. The World Health Organization defines health as a state of physical, mental, and social well-being that it is not merely the absence of illness. I'll put the right quote down below. So when looking at this definition of health, we see that the World Health Organization is not looking at health as at a linear aspect. It's looking at health in a holistic viewpoint. So it's not looking at just a small sliver of what health is, which is the physical. It's looking at the whole individual, which is holism. It's looking at the mental aspect, the physical aspect, the social aspect. However, there are still some parts that are missing from this definition, right? It doesn't take into account those aspects that we talked about earlier. With the environmental, the intellectual, the emotional, how those also affect the person in health and wellness. Alright, so now I want to go over what the World Health Organization defines wellness as. The World Health Organization defines wellness as the optimal state of health of individuals and groups, and it is expressed as a positive approach to living. So in looking at these 2 definitions, we see that there's more to the picture, that we are looking at the broad aspect of living well, living in wellness, right? Enter those 8 dimensions of wellness. So the dimension of wellness of emotional focuses on being able to validate our emotions, being able to express our emotions. It asks the questions, are we dealing with our emotions effectively? Are we able to cope? Are we able to take care of ourselves? Looking at stress, how are we doing with stress management? Are we taking time for ourselves? Are we being able to effectively deal with our stress in our life? Are we also practicing positive self-affirmations, making sure that we are being there for ourselves, essentially? So the dimension of wellness of emotional really focuses on being able to look out for ourselves a little bit, making sure that we are taking that time for ourselves and that we are managing stress, emotions, are able to process our feelings and emotions, reflecting on our emotions in a given day, and being able to just self-manage, self-cope with our emotions, right? This also is in line with our occupation of health management. Check that video right over here when I talk about occupations. In that video, I describe the occupation of health management and how expressing emotions is very important for health management. We need to be able to express ourselves in order to live in a healthy, full way. Okay, on to the next one. Next up, we have what the general public thinks of when they think of health, and that is the physical. This is recognizing the need for physical activity, diet, nutrition, all of that fun stuff. This is directly related to our occupation of health management, obviously getting that physical activity and all of that fun stuff, and rest and sleep. So sleep falls under this dimension of wellness as well too, and that is the occupation that is related to this. So under this area, we're looking at nutrition, physical activity, sleep. Are we being physically active enough for our own personal well-being? Are we getting the nutrition that our body needs? Are we making sure that we're not eating too much sugars, eating enough vegetables, eating enough fruits, right? Are we making sure that we're going to sleep at an optimal time, making sure that we have a good sleep routine? Are we managing our medications in the right way, taking them as prescribed, right? So all these aspects fall under the physical, making sure that we are managing our health in an appropriate way. All right, on to the next dimension of wellness. Alright, next up we have occupational. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doesn't occupational refer to occupations as in occupational therapy? Well, you would be wrong for this one. Although this was made by an occupational therapist, this time occupational refers to work, like you might assume that it would be under normal circumstances. But don't forget what occupations mean. So this dimension of wellness refers to the personal enrichment that someone gets from their own work. And you guessed it, this occupation of occupational is related to the occupation of work. If that isn't confusing, I don't know what is. So work is an occupation. And occupations are everyday activities. And this is occupational, and it's referring to work. So in this dimension of wellness, we're looking at work relationships. Are you satisfied with your personal relationships at work? Are you getting along with those people at work? We're looking at work-life balance. Are you working too much, too little? Even the simple fact of, do you enjoy your work, right? Are you getting satisfaction from your job? And then finally, sense of accomplishment. Do you feel like you are progressing at work? Do you feel like you have chance for growth? Do you feel like you are being successful at the work you do? So this is the dimension of wellness of occupation. So moving on to the last one for this video. Alright, so the last dimension of wellness we have for this video is that of social. It is focused on developing a sense of connection, belonging, and a well-developed support system. So this dimension of wellness is directly related to the occupation of social participation. So under this dimension of wellness, we have the sense of community, right? So are we able to go out and interact with our communities, whether it's our home community, whether it is the community of some sports rec league, whether it's the community of a photographer's club, right? Are we able to go out into a community and connect with those other people? Do we have those opportunities to go out and connect with those people, right? This also includes new people, so being able to interact with new people around you, whether it's strangers on the street, at a coffee shop, or your neighbor that you haven't talked to. And then most importantly, maybe most important of all, is social time, right? So this includes social time with friends, family, intimate partners, right? Being able to have that time to be social with those people and making sure that you're connecting with those people on a regular basis. The essential premise of the 8 dimensions of wellness is that a lack of participation in some of these dimensions can lead to a decrease in the overall wellness of a person. So we want to make sure that we are participating in every aspect of these dimensions of wellness to live a life of fulfillment. Hope you guys continue to have a beautiful day. Wishing you wellness through occupation, and take care, y'all.